Hello everyone, this is Sarah Kelani. I'm the financial reporting tutor at Phoenix Financial Training, and in this video I'm going to give you my final tip. Let's first start with the structure, which I'm assuming all of you guys know. In financial reporting, we've got 3 sections. Section A is 15 objective test questions, 2 marks each. Section B is 15 objective test questions, 2 marks each. But they are based on 3 mini scenarios. So each scenario, guys, gets 5 questions. The 5 questions, guys, are going to be objective test as well. Then you go into your section C, which is your constructive response question, which is typing. You've got 2 questions on that. One of them is going to be your ratio interpretation or company interpretation. The second will either be consolidation or a published accounts question. This, of course, is a computer-based exam, and it's going to be numerical as well as discursive theoretical theories and knowledge-wise that are going to be tested in these questions. Now let's look at the main common areas that are tested in the exam. So there are 3 main syllabus areas that we know is going to be in the exam. First one is consolidation. Second is the standards, and third is the ratio analysis. Now, there are other parts of the scenario, such as the conceptual framework, EPS, and cash flows that will be tested as well, but not as heavily as these. So let's focus on those. So consolidation can definitely be tested in section C, where you're going to need to prepare a consolidated financial statement, either a P&L or an SOFP or a combination of both. Then they will definitely be tested in your section A and B as well. They've definitely, you'll see consolidation there. Then we'll move on into our standards, which is the biggest area of the syllabus for financial reporting. You may get tested on it as a published accounts, where you need to prepare individual financial statements. That can be P&L, statement of changes in equity, or a statement of financial position, or any kind of combination of all these 3. Standards will definitely be tested in section A and B as part of the OTQs as well. Ratio analysis will definitely be tested in section C as one of those 20-mark questions. But in addition to the analysis part, in some cases you are requested to redraft some financial statements. When does this happen? Generally, they'll give you a scenario where one entity wants to buy an entity, or they have disposed of an entity, or there is a combination of groups, or it's an individual financial statements that wants to buy one of the competitors. Something is happening in the scenario where you may need to do some adjustments to the financial statements before your ratio calculations and analysis. So sometimes that is included in section C as well. However, this question at the end of the day, guys, is mostly discursive, which means that the majority of the marks are going to be on the interpretation. So my tip for you guys is don't spend too much time on the ratios. Yes, spend some time, yes, calculate the ratios, but it's not the maker or break it. The maker or break it is your interpretation. You need to reach there. So please, I know it's very difficult for students, guys, to move on from the ratios because they feel that they can do it. However, at the end of the day, it's probably 2 to 4 marks. That's it. But there are probably around 10 to 12 marks on the discussion of these ratios. So even if your ratios are wrong, leave them wrong and go and discuss your ratios. Your interpretation based on your ratios will get marks. It's all method marks. So now you know what's coming in the exam, which I'm assuming you should know already. Let's see how we can make you pass. First of all, guys, you need a good structure, especially in section C. When you get that question, either consolidation or a published accounts question, please do make sure that before your head gets wrapped into the scenario, make your performance, set up your SOFP, your P&L, set up the areas. So for example, your assets, your liabilities, your equity, your revenue, cost of sale, whatever it is. Set it up before your minds get bungled up with all of the different notes. Second, focus on what you know. not what you don't know. There will be surprises, and that's okay. No one gets 100% in FR. No one. Not even me, probably, if I go do the exam. But focus on what you know, because the majority of this question, even if it's consolidation or published accounts, no matter what it is, we've done before. The majority of it, we have done it before. So in that case, focus on what you know, not what you don't know. Do the things that we know, get those marks, and then if you have time, then deal with those weird, difficult things. Second, time management. Time management is very important. In most cases, guys, if you start with section C, you're gonna be wrapped up in it, because a lot of people don't let go, which is a problem that you need to work on, but you don't let go. So I would recommend, and there's no statistic between which is better or worse, guys, but don't think about, which should I start, section C, section B, section A. I would say just go A, B, C. Don't think about it. Statistically wise, there's nothing better than the other. So do what makes you comfortable. However, section C can suck a lot of your time, while section A and B may save you time. I'm not saying that it's not going to take you time, guys, but in most cases, especially if you've got a small theory question, guys, you either know it or you don't. What are you going to do? You're not going to sit there, think about a concept that you don't know, right? You're just going to probably guess, which is fine. Guessing is okay. And just move on. So it's okay. So it does save you some time, and maybe you can go and spend some time on section C. Now, if you do start section C, some people start it because it does give them confidence, because we're doing something that we're so comfortable with. Do that, that's fine, as long as you, after the time that is allotted for each question should be around 36 minutes, wouldn't pass 40 minutes on it. After 40 minutes, leave it and go and do section A and B. And if you have time, you can go back to it. So please beware of your time management. Application. Now, this is not knowledge, what is the definition of an asset. You need to apply to the scenario. Be aware of the tricks in the exam, such as dates. Very, very, very tricky. Be aware of the requirement and what they're asking you. So, for example, let's say in an objective test question where they are asking about the impact on retained earnings for consolidation. Try to understand what links to that working. Look at the pro forma, guys, but not just the pro forma. You need to understand what gets in there. So, for example, if there is anything that impacts goodwill, such as impairment, that will impact retained earnings. If we have anything fair value adjustment, depreciation, perp that impacts working too, that will also impact retained earnings because it's part of the movement. So you have to read the requirement very, very well, understand it, and then apply it. The final thing that I want to tell you guys is relax. This is an okay paper. Pass rates are generally higher than 50%. It's a good paper. If you have good knowledge, guys, good exam technique, adequate practice, this is a very passable paper, guys. I want you to relax. I want you to enjoy the exam or enjoy your time after the exam. Sleep well before the exam. Don't stress. Have a good breakfast and good luck.